order. Sheriff Bowler, pray, give us order.
The meeting will now come to order.
Please remain standing through America the Beautiful and the invocation.
For he rose in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America. And may all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Would you like to join me? Oh, beautiful for forever ways for purple mountains majesty. Oh, help me now. America, America, make shed his grace on thee. Crown thy good with brotherhood from sea.
Friends and families, and honored guests, greetings of peace and warm welcome on this beautiful morning. However each of us gathered here approach an understanding of the sacred in our lives, let us together share in the act of summoning gratitude for having reached this profound occasion, one that closes a defining chapter of life for our graduates and their families, while anticipating the start of the next phase of growth and learning and change. Even while we experience joy and appreciation through the wisdom to be shared by our speakers and the degrees to be conferred today, let us remain mindful of the milestones and urgent challenges very much in our midst.
Our world needs you. And that is why at Commencement, we celebrate the opportunities you have had in order to recommit to the work that is profoundly needed in these times, to ask, how will each of you live into the blessings and the responsibilities that your education has given you? How will you embody and extend wisdom, love, and compassion with this precious gift that is your life?
In this moment of commencement, may we savor both the celebration and the challenge. And in that tension, may we encounter anew the mystery and beauty of our existence with hearts and minds and hands that are opened wide to receive, but still wider to give and to share. Amen.
On behalf of the college, I'd like to open these ceremonies by extending a warm welcome to all of you, students, families, friends, and distinguished guests. We are delighted to see you here and grateful that you have gathered from far and near for this wonderful day. I'd like to offer special thanks to Sheriff Bowler for his special kickoff of the ceremony. With this, the college's 230th commencement, we continue the tradition of flying the flags of each of the 61 countries represented by this year's graduates, colorful and inspiring symbols of the world from which our students have gathered. One of the nicest aspects of this weekend is being able to watch our graduates share moments with faculty and with staff who have done so much to make their Williams experience productive and rewarding. I ask, therefore, that we recognize all members of the Williams faculty and staff with our applause. Not a single graduate would be here today without the support and encouragement of so many people. So I ask that we similarly recognize all of our students, parents, other family members, and friends who are with us today. Three guests we are particularly pleased to welcome this weekend are the recipients of the Olmsted Prize for Excellence in Secondary School Teaching, honored yesterday at the Ivy Exercises. We ask our recipients to please stand and ask the audience to hold applause until all names are announced. Mitch Hahn of Guilderland Center, New York, Shima Khan of Wellesley, Massachusetts, and Liam Leapley of West Haven, Connecticut. Most prizes and fellowships awarded to members of the senior class were announced by Dean Sandstrom yesterday at Ivy Exercises. A list of the recipients, as well as lists of seniors receiving various categories of honors, can be found at the back of the commencement program. Please join me in congratulating them on their wonderful, wonderful achievements. The William Bradford Turner Citizenship Prize was established in memory of Mr. Turner of the class of 1914, who was killed in action in France in 1916. The prize is awarded to that member of the graduating class whose service, leadership, and goodwill have inspired the gratitude and admiration of this community, and whose wholehearted embrace of the institution has helped us to see more clearly its higher purpose. This year's recipient has been an exceptional force at Williams and beyond. You have been a crucial contributor across campus, serving as the president of the Black STEM group, a member of the Black Ministries and the Gospel Choir, and an enthusiastic eVenture leader. Beyond Williams, you have worked with children and teachers in the North Adams Elementary School since your arrival on campus 4 years ago. Beyond all of your concrete accomplishments, your classmates are deeply impressed by your fundamental kindness, your effervescent smile, and your openness to learning from everyone with whom you interact. I now have the pleasure of calling on stage this year's winner of the William Bradford Turner Citizen Prize, Joseph Wilson. Oh, I'll carry this. Okay. So I purposely went to the wrong podium so he would walk across the stage to get full view by everybody. Okay, congratulations. With the ending of this academic year, 5 members of our faculty will have reached the conclusion of their Williams careers. I now have the pleasure of honoring them this morning. First, Karen B. Quitter. "40 years may be a blip in astronomical time, but it is a resplendent stretch for a career. Over that span, you have repeatedly wowed students with the power, complexity, and beauty of the universe. Many of them you engaged in observations, those in remote locations and those managed remotely from here in Williamstown. Some of the latter even included substantial time at the Hubble Space Telescope. Many of those students have continued in astronomy, including those inspired by your example as an early woman in the field. You have chaired the department, directed the Hopkins Observatory, and helped develop the Keck Consortium that coordinates astronomical teaching and student research at 8 Northeastern liberal arts colleges. You have generously shared your interests with local residents and on public radio, and your 4 books include volumes of hands-on science for middle to high schoolers. Your own research has advanced our understanding of the chemical history of galaxies, how the conditions of life came to exist, and how the dust of long-ago stars has come to constitute our very bodies. Many of your research methods have been adopted by colleagues for their own studies of the sky. All of this is heady stuff, though perhaps none more so than finding your soulmate at a meeting of the American Astronomical Society. I thereby declare you Ebenezer Fitch, Professor of Astronomy Emerita, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Next, I call up Carol Achman. One career is enough for most people, but you have managed to live 3. As teacher and scholar, you have helped students, alumni, and general audiences experience more deeply Western art from the 18th century to today. You also helped develop the practice of apprehending art through the lenses of its social and historical contexts, powerfully so in your book on Ingres' eroticized bodies and on Sarah Bernhardt, and even your work on the significance of the Barbie doll. At the same time, you have been an award-winning curator, mounting exhibitions of noted breadth and depth at the Jewish Museum in New York City and Florida's Selby Gardens. Then, against all odds, you added a career on the stage. You've taken on the personality of Bernhardt in a series of stage interviews. Your one-woman performance, entitled Sarah Bernhardt's Handkerchief, is a beautiful and fearless examination of the effects of suicide on families. And you now are appearing around the world in the multi-genre troupe that performs Paramodernities, a 4-hour exploration of the boundaries of word and dance. These strands, teacher, curator, performer, you have woven together into a career worthy of study. I hereby declare you Robert Sterling Clark, Professor of Art Emerita, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Shanti Singham. As the first Bolin Scholar to earn a regular faculty appointment and tenure, you have both studied history and made it. Having grown up on the campus of the University of the West Indies, your first interest was in Caribbean history. There being little support for that work in United States graduate schools, you focused instead on early and modern Europe, with an emphasis on the French Revolution. Your dissertation and early work explored police archives and illegal publications to uncover the existence of a stronger and more radical opposition to the monarchy than usually had been depicted. At Williams, you were able to return to your first loves, teaching and writing on the Haitian Revolution and comparative colonialism, along with the importance of gender, race, ethnicity, and religion in the evolution of modern European consciousness. You were the first faculty sponsor for our group's Students of Caribbean Ancestry. You faithfully supported students of all kinds as they rallied to speak truth to power, far away and here at home. You have compiled an oral history of Blacks in Berkshire County and have served as a leader of the group Historians for Peace and Democracy. In all this, you have enlarged upon the example of your early heroes, C.L.R. James and Walter Rodney, as models of the Caribbean intellectual activist. I hereby declare you Professor of History and Africana Studies Emerita, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Stephen P. Souza. After a successful career in private research and development, which included many patents and other advances in the technology of medical imaging, you joined our Department of Astronomy as both a researcher and a resource. As supervisor of the Hopkins Observatory, you have advanced the work of faculty and students, coordinating observations, teaching labs, guiding teaching assistants, supporting expeditions around the world, and being the invaluable technology whisperer to the welter of equipment on which all this work depends. Your countless hours running labs have led to close relationships with students that have continued long after graduation. Your own research, alone and in collaboration, has resulted in a long list of papers and chapters, along with books for school and college-age audiences. You have contributed to discoveries regarding Pluto and its largest moon. You were the first author on an equipment-focused paper that has been particularly much cited. Thus, your influence has spread well beyond these surrounding hills. All of this is heady stuff, though perhaps none more than finding your soulmate at a meeting of the American Astronomical Society. I thereby declare you Senior Lecturer in Astronomy Emeritus, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Peter S. Wells, class of 1979. Few coaches have had as large an impact on their sport here as you have. The position certainly brought unique challenges. For many years, you directed both the men's and women's crew teams. That meant more than 100 athletes, many of whom had never before touched an oar, training on waters far from campus in equipment both expensive and delicate. When not scheduling transportation, re-rigging shells, and troubleshooting the outboard motor on the launch, you were luring students into a sport they had never considered, raising money and developing our indoor training facility. Your creativity and fundraising, from team leaf raking to the Coachella-like experience of the annual Ergathon, is matched by your innovative coaching, devoted as it has been to exploring ever new ways to challenge your students. On top of all this, You have also served at times as Sports Information Director, Assistant Nordic Ski Coach, and Coordinator of Physical Education, all undertaken with your characteristic zeal and attention to detail. Your rowers may not always have been aware of how furiously you were paddling under the water, but they have certainly known and have long appreciated the life lessons that you imparted: discipline, teamwork, and as one alumnus has put it, how to find our leverage and propel ourselves forward. I hereby declare you Assistant Professor of Physical Education Emeritus, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto.
Thank you very much.
Since 1795, got that a little wrong, seniors have spoken from the commencement stage. Indeed, in early years, all seniors spoke. Take that in for a minute. All seniors spoke. The present wise practice of limiting the student speakers to 3 members of the class began in 1901. 1 speaker is chosen by the class, 1 is selected by the Phi Beta Kappa Society, and the last speaker is our valedictorian. It is my pleasure to introduce our class speaker, Joseph Wilson.
I'll do my best to behave, but y'all, it's graduation, so, all right. Here we go. Right. Class of 2019, we have finally made it to graduation. And what a wild ride this journey has been. This is a time of celebration. So as we prepare to receive our diplomas and say peace to Williams, it is useful to reflect on our time here in the Purple Valley. This picturesque place in the Berkshires has brought many moments of happiness, such as seeing snow for the first time and finally seeing all that snow melt away. Hello, spring. We've had fun with our friends in the libraries in Peresky and have had the chance to get free food at multiple events. Shout out to Stress Busters. But just as our time has been filled with joy, we have experienced much heartache and struggle. Many of us have spent countless hours studying for exams or writing papers just to find out we did not do as well. We've dedicated even more time for sports games, recitals, and performances for it to not go in our favor. Some of us are very far from home, unable to intervene when something tragic has happened. Our mental and physical health has suffered due to the stress of life here. And on top of it all, it seems as if the sun refuses to shine. But, through it all, through the heartache and pain, the blizzards and the rain, thanks be to God, we have made it. I'm gonna try not to preach, but come on. So what happens now as we go into the world beyond the Purple Valley? What do we do with our experiences, hopes, and dreams? Well, we play our tambourines. Now, the tambourine is a great instrument that has many functions, one being to help maintain the rhythm of a song. You can play it with as little or as much creative flair as you want, and can even enhance sound with the loud cymbals ringing throughout the air. Now, as you know, I love playing the tambourine, and I'm always ready to strike a beat. While some may think that I came to Williams with the tambourine, I only started to play it my junior year. Thus, something that has defined my Williams experience, I only started playing 2 years ago, but I am able to shake things up in my special way. The same applies for all of us. While we have only been on this campus for a short time, our actions have impacted this institutional memory. Our melodious rhythm has transformed our campus and communities beyond the valley in meaningful, impactful, and transformative ways. With each hit of our tambourines, we disrupt spaces and bring awareness to issues. And with each ring of the cymbals, we use our experiences, knowledge, and passion to produce change. So class, as we go beyond this valley, don't forget your instrument. Continue to play your tambourine as we each have something to say and offer. Through life's ups and downs, the smiles and the frowns, go out and let the world know that we will continue to make some noise. Thank you.
Our Phi Beta Kappa speaker is Ari Bal-Burek.
The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so we might as well swim. My world's on fire. How about yours? Whether or not Smash Mouth had anthropogenic climate change in mind when they wrote this, it's our reality. Our ice is thinning, our water is warming, our world is on fire. Author and environmental activist Margaret Atwood wisely said that climate change should really be called everything change. It will spur dramatic change in every facet of life. Terrifying as this is, I like the idea, everything change. Suffice it to say, it feels appropriate. Today, each of us begins a personal everything change. Wherever the coming years take us, academia, consulting, medicine, travel, law, consulting, they will probably look very different than the last four. Nearly all of us will have far better supermarket access, and far worse access to beautiful outdoor spaces or brilliant professors. Conference rooms will replace common rooms. Socializing will become something we must actively seek out, rather than something that permeates nearly every aspect of our busy lives. Many of us will be living in new places, and those of us who move back home or stay here will experience those familiar spaces in a completely different light. So, how do we move forward? How can we constructively confront the global and personal everything changes? Three things come to my mind. First, we must remember that little, if anything, happens in isolation. Everything we do and experience has downstream consequences that we may or may not realize. Case in point, a mere 2-degree increase in global surface temperature will spur dramatic change in our access to food, clean water, and shelter in the next century. The global everything change will require a new wave of educators, activists, engineers, writers, doctors, economists, and even art historians, all prepared to shape brand new scientific, political, cultural, and financial paradigms for a world in flux. Williams has taught us to be critical, globally minded thinkers who can dissect a problem in its myriad contexts. As we adapt to sweeping, global and personal everything change, this broad and interdisciplinary perspective will be crucial. Second, we should strive to build and maintain strong communities around us. We are pack animals. If you've ever seen entries moving down Hoxie during first days, you know what I mean. And I'm a firm believer in the power of community to elevate the individual. The necessity for community extends far beyond the social. In a world of ever-specialized and interconnected careers, there is very little we can do alone. Rather, our contributions must rely and build on past and parallel contributions, and will almost certainly require collaboration. Williams has showered us with community since our first day here, Now it's up to us to foster social and intellectual communities for ourselves. Finally, we can weather the change, pun intended, by being relentlessly grateful and hopeful. Williams has not always been an easy place to be. Sometimes it has been downright exhausting. But through the bleary-eyed problem sets and papers, messy breakups, mental health struggles, and constant barrage of scary news from beyond the purple bubble, we have become resilient. There's lots more to be grateful for as well. A pretty sweet diploma, lifelong friends, the mountains at sunset, the nachos at 82. Atwood suggests that hope is our best tool for coping with and innovating through the everything change. Not to mention, it might be the only thing that can keep us sane. I am confident that fortified by perspective, community, gratitude, and hope, we can rise to this fateful responsibility with purpose and poise. Thank you.
As our final student speaker, we welcome the valedictorian of the class of 2019, Henry Liu.
My fellow students, professors, staff, families, members of the Williams community. We gather here today to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2019. The achievements not just of students, but of all of us as a community. Every graduate has stories of how we have been shaped by the Williams community, whether it was a peer or staff member who helped us through a difficult time, a professor or alum who supported our professional development, or a local community member who made us feel welcome. Today, I will share a few of my own memories as we reflect upon what it means to be a part of this Williams community. When I first came to Williams, I drove right past campus. All of the mountains looked the same. My freshman fall, I worked at the Williamstown Historical Museum, where I became friends with a local Williamstown resident, Patrick. He showed me the town, the farms, and even the cows. He named the mountains for me. Patrick became a part of my local community. Williams followed me beyond the Purple Valley. When I searched for some place to live while studying away for a semester in Boston, I found a room in a charming New England home, which turned out to be owned by a Williams alum, Alan. Alan taught me to barbecue lamb chops and to become professional in using his kitchen. He even joked that I learned more from him than at Williams. When I think of what advice Alan might have for our graduating class, I hear his voice reminding us, never forget to turn off the gas stove. This January, another alum, Bill, gave me the opportunity to gain experience at his company in Munich and Hong Kong. Despite how busy they were, Bill and his team took the time to teach me about their work and inspire me with their example. Bill and Alan became a part of my global community. My most meaningful takeaways from Williams are the relationships built with the people here, the conversations, the shared experiences, the bonds that grow with time. My peers, you have taught me to care deeply for one another, to listen, to empathize, to understand. I'll continue to cherish the relationships built here with some of the most important people in my life. You have become a part of my extended family. Lastly, our professors taught us important life lessons. When we faced setbacks, they taught us to come back stronger and smarter. They also exemplified putting people first. When some of us were on campus over the summer and the school year, they invited us to their homes for Thanksgiving, for the 4th of July, for dinners and conversations. Our professors. You have become our role models and mentors for years to come. My fellow classmates. As we step forth from the Purple Valley as alumni, we will be joining new communities and forming new bonds. We will become a part of someone else's local community, global community, family, and mentors. Let us remember the example of those who have done so much for our education and personal growth. And when the opportunity arises, seize it. Name the mountains for someone else. Thank you.
We have another round of applause for our wonderful speakers. It is our custom at this time to award honorary degrees to people of great accomplishment in many varied walks of life. We hold them up as deserving of honor and as examples for our graduates this day. Roger H. Brown. Yikes. Could this be the resume of one person? After college, you taught math in Kenya while moonlighting as a drummer for an award-winning gospel choir. You later interrupted professional school to join your future wife in alleviating the humanitarian crisis on the Thai-Cambodian border, where you built a program that fed more than 25,000 people per day, averting countless starvations. While there, you also made recordings with musicians in refugee camps to preserve traditional music that was being suppressed by the Khmer Rouge. The two of you then co-directed a Save the Children Federation initiative on famine relief that served more than 400,000 Sudanese, saved an estimated 20,000 lives, and established a model for future UN relief efforts. Returning home with a desire to help American families, you together launched Bright Horizons, now the largest worldwide provider of worksite childcare and early education, with more than 24,000 employees serving more than 80,000 families. Returning to your musical roots, you now preside over Berklee College of Music, where among a raft of accomplishments, you have developed the world's largest online music education system, facilitated a merger with the Boston Conservatory, and quadrupled funding for financial aid. Are you tired yet? Somehow we think not. I hereby declare you recipient of the honorary degree Doctor of Laws, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Ophelia Dahl. The story would be too fantastic for the most imaginative children's author to concoct. Volunteering in a small eye clinic in Haiti's impoverished Central Plateau, you met Paul Farmer, and with him and others founded Partners in Health, with the goal of bringing health care to the poor. Idealistic but inexperienced, you encountered early failures that caused you to second guess, but you persisted and adapted, and in time, Partners became the first program in the world to treat patients in rural settings with full courses of antiretrovirals. From Haiti, you took your community health model to Peru, and then Rwanda, where you helped rebuild the country's healthcare system. Iconoclast throughout, you averted a deadly multi-drug-resistant TB epidemic by treating dying patients against official World Health Organization policy. In fact, you've created nothing less than a public health revolution by treating patients who had been abandoned by the health establishment. Eventually, world policies changed, deeply entrenched ideas were transformed, and millions of lives were pulled back from the brink of death. Fantastic it all is. A story that shows how moral imagination, strategy, and sheer will together changed the trajectory of the world. I hereby declare you recipient of the honorary degree Doctor of Laws, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining hereto. Michael R. Eisenson, class of 1977. For someone who doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve, you certainly have a large one. You might look all business, but we know otherwise. Yes, you are a strategic thinker and a tender to detail in both your professional and civic lives, but both are in service to your exceptional generosity of spirit. At the Harvard Private Capital Group and as founder and co-chairman of Charles Bank Capital Partners, you have worked to expand the capacity of institution to advance the public good. Your soft spot for children led you to your founding of the Horizons program, which provides preschool and other services to homeless children throughout Massachusetts. Your passion for global public health inspired your deep involvement with Planned Parenthood and with the work of Partners in Health in Haiti and elsewhere. No community, however, has benefited more from your dedication than Williams. As alumnus, board member, and most notably as board chair, you have applied your formidable acumen to making Williams more accessible, diverse, and sustainable, and to making Williamstown more socially and economically vibrant. So we're not buying this all-business act. We respect the intellectual edge that has benefited all of us at Williams now and in generations to come, but we admire even more the rich heart that has reliably guided it. I hereby declare you recipient of the honorary degree Doctor of Laws, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Kevin Roosevelt Moore. Too happy for blues, too bluesy for jazz, too funky for folk, and too city for country. So you have been described by your genre-busting music, which has landed you 4 Grammys, 11 Blues Foundation Awards, 6 BMI Awards, and a raft of movie and television appearances, including even on Sesame Street. Your 14 albums include Taj Mo, a collaboration with Taj Mahal, the musician who inspired your career when he once played your Compton High School. You have also performed with the likes of Bonnie Raitt, Amy Grant, Jackson Browne, and Rita Coolidge, and your songs have been covered by artists such as Buddy Guy, the Dixie Chicks, Joe Cocker, and B.B. King, from whom you have inherited the title Keeper of the Flame. As such, Gibson and Martin Guitars both now produce models in your name. Believing in the power of music to change lives, you have mentored students at the Johnson School for Excellence in Chicago and co-founded the Playing for Change Foundation, which provides free music lessons to children in 9 countries. Perhaps most indelible has been this iconic rendition of America the Beautiful, which has graced the finale of West Wing, the White House itself, and now even little old Williamstown. Through it all, you've become a genre unto yourself, known with deep reverence and affection as Kep Mo. I hereby declare you recipient of the honorary degree Doctor of Music, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining hereto. Mary Claire King. You are the person who showed that the DNA in humans and chimpanzees differ by only 1%. And boy, what you have done with your 1%. You have identified the so-called breast cancer gene, saving countless lives and changing how we think about complex diseases, genes, and the causes of cancers. By not patenting your technique, you have made it available to laboratories worldwide. You went on to lead the effort to identify causes and treatments for ovarian cancer, schizophrenia, and genetic disorders in childhood. You have worked with Israeli and Palestinian colleagues to identify the genetic causes of severe inherited disorders in Middle Eastern families. You have even been able to identify victims of human rights abuses around the world. For instance, you have enabled many South Americans to reunite with their families' children whose parents had been disappeared and murdered by their government. You have identified for families the remains of loved ones missing in conflicts from World War II through Vietnam, and have consulted with the UN's forensic anthropology team on cases that are particularly challenging for technical or political reasons. It's hard to believe that you once considered leaving academia. Think how much better off the world is that you stayed. I hereby declare you recipient of the honorary degree Doctor of Science, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Stay, don't go anywhere. It is our custom to ask one of our honored guests to speak on behalf of the entire group of recipients of honorary degrees. This year, we will have the pleasure of hearing from Mary Claire King.
It is certainly not only from me. We have already heard America the Beautiful, not to mention the tambourine. When President Mandel asked me if I would be speaker today, I thought, what should I talk about? And I asked my brother Paul, who's here, Princeton grad, but good guy anyway. I said I would like to talk about life in science. And my brother, who combines a career in geometric topology and venture capital and chamber music, said, that's okay, you are a scientist. So for a few minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about life on the far side. It's a life that I didn't expect to choose. I fell into by accident, and I'm so happy that I did. I've come to realize that the culture of scientific life has special features that make it irresistible. Having come from a family without an academic background, let alone a background in science, and thus having learned the ways of this culture as I grew up in it, it occurs to me that as the parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters and friends of these new graduates, some of whom are considering a life in science, that you might like to know what they will get themselves into. What do we do all day? Here's one very anecdotal view of our world. I think this can be called a view from the far side. Now, I hope that you students know about the far side. If you don't, ask your parents. Better yet, ask your grandparents. The first and defining feature of life in science is that the people in it want to be here. We enjoy this life. Science is fun. My field of genetics and genomics is enormous fun. Those of us doing science nowadays are extraordinarily lucky to be working in a revolutionary period. It's irresistible not to succumb to a sense of unlimited horizons. Every result, regardless of organism or gene or pathway, is part of a whole story that will eventually make sense to us. Every day is to open a gift box from nature. The lesson of evolution is that the natural world is ordered and that people can figure it out. In experimental science, there are hard problems and incredibly hard problems, but there are very few impossible problems. In this way, experimental science differs from pure mathematics, where some problems can even be proven to be impossible. To me, that's a little discouraging. But for experimental biologists, the far more daunting task is integrating our answers in science into a meaningful social context, about which more in a bit. A second feature of our culture is that we respect each other. We hope our students sense our respect for them. This may be obscure at times because the scientific world is a pretty critical place. Criticism and respect might seem to conflict, but they don't. In the best places, they are both obvious. Any one of our ideas is only as good as yesterday's experiment and this morning's results. None of us delude ourselves that we have all the answers. As people who have been in the field longer, we teachers have simply had more opportunities to be wrong. When one's ideas are inevitably frequently incorrect, one develops great respect for good ideas, both for the difficulty of coming up with testable questions and for the hard work of doing the experiment to find out the answer. As teachers, we respect the creative stubbornness of our students who are just beginning to have their ideas work. We've all been there. Of course, the only way ideas get better is by open, unrestrained criticism. But criticism of ideas is coupled with respect for the person having the idea. The idea may be scientifically immature. Most ideas are, most of the time. But the person with the idea is mature to be able to reveal a not fully formed and therefore fragile notion to their fellow students and teachers who will immediately jump all over it. As mentors, we try very hard to let our students see our regard for them. I know we're not perfect at this, but I think students understand that we take them seriously, that we believe in them, both as our students and as the future of the field, and that we are very proud of them. Now, criticism of students by teachers is certainly reciprocated. One of my graduate students and I were teaching a course together more than 25 years ago in Shanghai. Recall that at that time, there was very little contact between our countries. We had developed a routine in which I would explain a concept for a few minutes in English, and then my then student would expand the same point in Mandarin, emphasizing bits where either my English or the genetics had not been clear. But one time, well into the course, after one of my verbal paragraphs, he said nothing. I looked at him. Perhaps I had been perfectly clear, but no. My student looked at the class, looked at me, and said, in English, "There's really nothing I can do with this. You've got it all wrong." I need not mention that everyone in the class understood that comment perfectly. It's an indication of our shared worldwide value system, even for two cultures quite isolated from each other 25 years ago, that everyone laughed. I've been going back to China ever since. The students still laugh. From another lab comes a more positive example. A scientist friend of mine took a job in Washington, D.C. several years ago. He had to testify to Congress about some particularly complex issues. "How'd it go?" I asked. "Oh, pretty well," he said, unexpectedly cheerfully. "My lab showed up to listen and thought I'd done a good job." "Well, what about Congress?" I said. "Oh, yeah, them too," he said. "But my lab is a lot harder to please." This is true. Your lab is where you go for a reality check. In the lab, you'll hear honest responses to your ideas. You also expect and receive loyalty vis-a-vis the outside world. Everybody knows that you let the capillaries run dry and ran the lab out of sequencing reagents, but you are welcome anyway. I've mentioned the fun of doing biology and the critical but accepting life of a laboratory-based community. The last feature of scientific life that I'd like to suggest is the scientist as a citizen of the world. Being a scientist provides a view of the world that is unique and that imposes responsibilities on those of us lucky enough to be part of it. So what do I mean by this? Anywhere we go as scientists in the world, we are welcomed in local universities. Anywhere. There, anywhere, we meet new friends at 1 or 2 degrees of separation. We take for granted the internationality of our world and the irrelevance of nationality or race or the politics of one's government. However, would be blind not to acknowledge that we're part of the wider world and that sometimes we must address events of that world. At these times, the technologies of our own fields can be useful. For me, using genetics to identify kidnapped children in Argentina was an obvious example. But probably more often, it's not the science per se that's applicable, but rather our insistence on common sense in public life. We have a long practiced ability to detect nonsense. We are in close contact with a large network of well-informed people from all over the world. In crises, our subculture makes excellent use of those networks. Our interconnectedness is a major force for democratic change in all parts of the world. It is impossible to tell bright young people utter nonsense and expect them to believe it, or to be eternally patient with those responsible for it. Friendships made in school, friendships you've made here, can and will impact events beyond science in ways that none of us can predict. So I would like to leave you with 3 wishes, like a fairy godmother. First, may you have enormous fun and good fortune in your chosen field, whatever it is. Second, may you always have, in parallel with your life in science or in arts, a side life in the other of C.P. Snow's 2 cultures. If you are a scientist, read history or play an instrument or enjoy a play. If you are an artist, read Gawande's books. Learn a bit about the science that we do and how it can be fascinating as well. Third, may you be fully immersed in our society so your brains and abilities are useful. Notice that these 3 wishes are not bestowed from on high. Rather, they are completely under your control. You have the freedom and autonomy to choose your wishes and to choose the paths you will follow in fulfilling them. We wish you the greatest pleasure in doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Claire. And I'll go off script for a moment here just to say how astounding it is and how amazing and I hope inspiring to hear the stories of our honorary degree recipients as you go off into this next phase of your life. Could we all just give them another big round of applause? It is now my great pleasure to ask Dean Sandstrom to present the candidates for degrees.
President Mandel, on behalf of the faculty, I have the honor to present the following candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Art History. Anne Solen Lila Bayan. Jalen Kai Chang. Marco Antonio Flores. Jacob Ian Gagne. Catherine W. Griffith. William Manuel Hernandez Luege. Jenna Michelle Husted Marvin. Gabriela Teresa Moreno. Julie M. Ryder in absentia. Nora Margaret Mitchell Rosengarten. Brandon O. Scott. Wu Wei.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Art History, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations.
President Mandel, on behalf of the faculty, I have the honor to present the following fellows at the Center for Development Economics for the degree of Master of Arts in Policy Economics. Juliet Akello, Uganda. John Deng Alir, South Sudan. Keen Sway U, Myanmar. Rosa Delgado, Cabo Verde. Samnian Chan, Cambodia. Undril Erdenbot, Mongolia. Imanbekova Nazik Marabekovna, Kyrgyz Republic. Dave Re Joshi, Nepal. Chabu Kapamwe, Zambia. Sutavin Lovansai, Lao People's Democratic Republic. Augusto Mendoza, Peru. Priscille Mikebanye, Rwanda. Mincy Lalina Rihanna, Madagascar. Timothy Tumbuka, Malawi. Makumba Venavivi, Zambia. Mohammed Rafiul Monir, Bangladesh. Anvar Murakanov, Kyrgyz Republic. Baba Ali Mwango, Rwanda. Elizabeth Christopher Naluso, Malawi. Nick Nguyen, Vietnam. Jean-Jacques Nikiyama, Burkina Faso. Kevin Juki, Kenya. Obin Bruce Nsabiyumva, Burundi. Juan Pablo Rowert Mariscal, Bolivia. Alice Sanika, Zimbabwe. Daniel Yeboah Forson, Ghana.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Policy Economics, entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations.
President Mandel, on behalf of the faculty, I have the honor to present the following candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Mohammed Nashirwan Abbasi. Philemon Ramar Imani Abel. Olade Mariam Adijobi. Jason Ezwa Nemeke Ejule. Rua Agribi. Isabel Soyan An. Liam James Albritton. Carol Amante. Christina Marie Alvarado. Ana de Sousa y Silva Alvareno. Jesse Ryan Ames. Austin Lee Anderson. Gregory Torrance Andreu. Colin Douglas Andrews. Andrew Slater Aramini. David Adedotun Aribi. Michaela Lubega Armstrong. David Christopher Zera. Esther J. Beck. Young Soo Beck, summa cum laude, in absentia. Brian Christopher Bailey. Ian Christopher Banta. Eustinus Bonis. Alexia Lisette Bonrandieren. Amir Noel Barber. Archie Maurice Barnett. Olivia Catherine Barnhill. Lorenzo Baroni. Francesca Marazzi Baradale. Christina Francis Berry. Shubhashri Basnet. William Jacob Bauman. Braden Harkins Becker. Joanne Michelle Beckford. William Dietrich Beischer. Elizabeth Cowell Benjamin. Thomas Liam Benz. Karsten Berger. Cyrus Andrew Mashayeki Beshlas. Liliana James Beerer. Jacob Bingaman. Iona Kathleen Binney. Adrian Salavara Black, summa cum laude. Anna Elaine Black. Sebastian Keys Black. Catherine Christine Blake. Julia Astrid Blake. Hudson Bohr. Joseph A. Boncardo. Leonard William Bopp. Monica Jean Bausa. Caitlin Riley Braband. Maya Kariamu Bracy. John William Brady II. Zachary Matthew Brand. Moss Abraham Brenner Bryant. Lauren Alexa Brown. Abby Christina Brewstad. Walter White Buckley IV. Ryan James Buggy. Benjamin Bowie. Emily Dryden Birch. David Lewis Burgess. Leah Charlotte Bush. Anand Michael Butler. Marcus Desmond Butler. Arno Kai. Luke Lee Tai. Darcy Jane Caldwell. Giovanna Jasmine Calvillo. Bennett Sachs Kaplan. Evan Lamb Carr. Granger Lee Carty. Robert Patrick Casey. Kai Cash. Joachim Stig Settigren. Roberto B. Cellini. Miranda Rose Chaikin. Grace Catherine Chamberlain. Angela Ann T. Chan. Cordelia Chan. Kevin Chang. Betty Lee Jing Chen. Jessica Chen. William Ishwen Chen, summa cum laude. Victoria Olegovna Chensova. Zoe Odile Marie Chevalier. Young Grace Cho. Nikolai Sindam Christofferson. Dana Heejung Chung. George Parker Clark. Julia Carmela Cochran. Ezekiel Ben Friedman Cohen. Aaron Madison Cohn. Roxanne Louise Corbet. Jose Manuel Corici Gomez. Marconi dos Santos Correa Jr. Cecilia Jane Kramer. Rachel Patricia Cuccinella. Brady Eduardo Suedo Jr. Zeev Dalsheim Kahane. Kelsey Elizabeth Dalton. Marche Tishan Daughtry. Luke Christian Davis. Frances Elizabeth Dean. Jameson Gerald DeMarco. Michaela Desano Smith, in absentia. Judah Tien Su Devadas. Michaela Mercereau Dickinson. Giovanni Christian DeRusso. Elizabeth Powell Dolan. Danielle Cunha de Oliveira. Daniel Goodell Donahue. Gibson Isabel Donnan. Sean Craig Dory. Raquel Devon Janae Douglas. William Balfour Downs. William Christian Doyle. Robert Oliver Doolin IV, summa cum laude. Christian Paul DeMont. Connor Patrick Lim Dunham, in absentia. James Joseph Dunn IV. Zoe Penelope Dutton. Sebastian Jadkiewicz. Ben Raphael Eisenberg. Evelyn Tess Elgart. Coley Lim Cho Elhai. Francesca Marie-Louise Ochumbe Iluchu. Robert Anthony Evans III. Jesse Landers Facey. Hector Fajardo. Grace Chen Fan. Ashraf Sharif Farhood. Danielle Celeste Faulkner. Caitlin Alexis Feeling. Madison Marie Feeney. Callum Andrew Ferguson. Julia Filoka. Drew Fishman. Anna Mae Fitch. John Cutting Fitzgerald. Marissa Lena Flignor. Jake Bennett Fail. Elliot Reed Fong. Kaylee Jillian Forbes Kakel. Anna Margaret Fusillo. William Fung. Nicholas James Gardner. Corinna Irene Garfield. Hamiao Julie Gung. Rachel Burr Gerard. Gabriella Ann Giles. Haylin Gim, summa cum laude. Keshav Pratik Goel. Anna Lillian Godelman. Seth Lewis Goldstein. Olivia Joe Goodhart, in absentia. Kiara Denise Gordon. Louisa Bibber Goss. Melanie Yvette Graciani. David Jonathan Grain, Jr., in absentia. Kennedy Alexa Green. Jonah Alexander Greenberg. Alexandra Joseph Richmond Griffin. Paul Buckley Griffith, Jr. Samuel Zelig Graver Grunenbaum. Alexandra Ann Goditis. Alexandra Gigonik. Mary Kate Guma. Lauren Jessica Ganasti. Fred Bindra Gua. Jonathan Regan Hall. Jad Noah Hamden. David Sunkyu Han. June Dongmarung Han. Jason Scott Hansel. Erin Bridget Hansen, summa cum laude. Maya Trey Hare. Max William Harmon, in absentia. Emily Christina Harris. Charles Avery Harrison. Kellen Patrick Hathaway. Mark Andrew Hay. James F. Heinel. Devin Earl Helly. Eva Henderson. Stephanie Maria Hernandez. James Oliver Heskett. Sarah Victoria Hetherington. Elizabeth Electra Hibbard. Keanu Hilaire. Eric Daniel Hirsch. Kwan Hung Min Do, in absentia. Ross? Oh, in presentia. Ross Stanley Hoke. Matthew John Hogan. Sarah Hamilton Hollinger. Niels Alexander Horn. Sarah Shanti Hossein. Caroline Hung. Hannah Kirschner Hunsaker. Quentin William Hurst. Rachel McGovern Hurst. Christina J. Huang. Deepak Krishna Indrakanti, summa cum laude. Marcus Marimi Iwama. Neil Sindar Jain. Sonia Minnie Jampel. Alexander Ufarn Jen. Jillian Taylor Jenkin. Reed Tao Jenkins. Jeff Junn. Harper Adele Johnson. Alexis Mary Jones. Banchanok Jumratenasan. Killian Phillipson Justice. Ian Kagenza Kagami. Jacob Christian Cars. Kyung Shin Kang. Sung Wan Kang. Ruben Fry Kaufman. Julia K. Kawano. Ryan Joseph Kelly. Beatrix Bullard Kelly. Michael Roth Kempton. Erin Kathleen Kennedy. Caroline Elizabeth Norn Kessler. Ahmed Khalaila. Anna Kim. Arya Kim. Jason Bumshik Kim. Jessica Hayung Kim. Joyce Sehan Kim. Kennedy Daniel Kim. Sarapia Hyunmin Kim. Say-Din Julie Kim, summa cum laude. Julius Andrew Kindfuller. Eliza A. Klein. Lindsay Caroline Klickstein. Walter Austin Knaus, summa cum laude. Felix Wolfgang Nolman. Matthias Smith Korfmacher. Veronica Irenka Kowalczyk. David Samuel Connolly Crane. Alexandra Brigitte Christic. David Joning Kwan. Aaron Alexis Lamberth. Neftali Laura. Kate Hannah Lattimore. Sean Pedraic Lederer Jr. Brianna J. Lee. Henry Miles Lee. Gyuntek Lee. Lester Lee. Sanwan Lee. Tucker Jason Lemos. Matthew Gregory Lennon. Anna Keen Leonard. Rachel Yael Levin. Jiki Lee. Mei Liang. Vincent Lin. Karen Jocelyn Linares. Avital Molly Lipkin, summa cum laude. Catherine McAnally Loftus. Si-Hu Lan in absentia. Caitlin Patricia Long. Patrick Michael Lochran. Patricia Rosa Maria Lozano. John Hung Liu. Sophie Diane Liu. Grace McCormick Maybe. Andrew Scattergood McDonald. Alejandra Moran Magana. Curtis Edward Mahar. Krishangi Sanjay Kumar Masoria. Claire Christine Manchesky. Emma Mary Payne Mandel. Sawit Manna. John Garrett Morando. Ariella Eve Markowitz. Marianne Naliaka Masibo. Diana Faye Matheson. James Thomas Maynard. Josie Mitchell Maynard, summa cum laude. Grace Rose Aigua Mazzarella. Emily Kristen McDonald. Petra Tiso McGinty. Sarah Ann McLaughlin. Allison Mary McNamara. Allison Yuka McPherson. Connor August Mike. Alexandra Lynn Melishkevich. Yonatan Jacob Melnick. Jamal Meneed. Oscar Marino. Grace Isabella Merriman. Nebiu Yonis Metafaria. Morgan Lee Michaels. Anya Noel Mickelson. Abigail Miller. Julia Rose Minnie. Abby Lauren Minando. Jalen Terrell Money. Rhodesy Majurima. Marcus Jack Malika. Paul Adrian Maranja. Janelle Morel. Mitchell Joseph Morris. Ben Maman Morton. R. Jackson Moss. Joseph Leo Mullen IV. Shazad Mumtaz. Jessica Elizabeth Munoz Perez. Mackenzie Joy Murphy. Magnolia May Murphy. Molly Catherine Murphy. Jacob Nadelman. Mandela Peace Namaste. Augusta Mattis Now. Esmeralda Navarro. Karina Ann Naveau. Nguyen Tang Nam. Taima Nimri. Sean Endez Ninsing. Marigina Normal. Christine Sinead Nice. William Dodd O'Brien. Christian James O'Connor. Nana Ama Obeya Ofora Ata. Erica Renee Olson. Angus McDougall O'Rourke. Eva Maria Orozco. Melanie Gabrielle Ortega. Alyssa Felice Ostro. Zachary Dean Otati, summa cum laude. William Frederick Harding Oleen. Anjali Pai. Samuel Foster Payne, in absentia. Chanel Ariella Palmer. Ava Jane Palmo. Alexander Salvatore Pankhurst. Alex James Pansteres. Harmon Edward Pardo. Kristen Park. Terica Ashley Parker. Nina Ashvin Patel. Alejandra Guadalupe Patlan. William Tyler Patterson. Chandler Paige Pearson. Casey Michelle Pels. Isabel Esmeralda Pena. Susanna Bayer Penikis. Dawn Ann Penso. Cielo Coronado Perez. Ian Alexander Perry. Long Deng Hai Pham. Sophia Isabel Lung Fei. Ellen Elizabeth Peer. Dustin Ping. Michael Pinios. Benjamin Chase Pollock. Story Philip Bicknell Ponvert, in absentia. Jake Cole Porath. Cecilia Irene Poe Hove. Elizabeth Ann Poulis. Chanel Grace Powell. Daniel Edmund Powell, Jr. Zachary William Prume. Jeffrey Allen Polano. Amy Junyu Cho. Eliza Case Quigley. Andrea Elizabeth Quintanar. Mac Emmanuel Radin. Thomas Edward Ragucci. Elias Christopher Ramos, in absentia. Julia Grace Randall. James Christopher Rasmussen. Stuart LeConte Reed. Moise Rehan. Emma Burns Reicheld. Rachel Bassett Rettenka. Aaliyah Maud Francis Richardson. Morgan Mills Richmond. Therese Marjorie Richmond. Anna Elizabeth Ringett. Thomas Fleming Robertshaw. Mariana Rodriguez Delgado. Emma Lynn Best Rogowski. Moises Roman Mendoza. Ariana Hohi Romeo. Eric Morris Rosenthal. Sammy Dalbis Rosofsky. Brendan Linsky Rousseau. Michael Emmanuel Rubel. William Penrod Ruggiero. Michael Galen Rury. Annie Rush. Mackenzie Gregory Rush. Eileen Margaret Russell. Carmen Jane Saab. Richard Crosby Saint. Karsten Eric Salveson. Soha Chanchurawala. Emma Sophia Santucci. Kaylee Elizabeth Sodek. Kyle Dylan Skadlock. Douglas Lawrence Schaefer. Hattie George Shapiro. Rachel Ann Sharp. Aaron Oliver Shine. Jacob Reed Shuckman. Charlotte Louise Scott. Jesse Edward Smith Scott. Olivia Jacqueline Siegel. Brendan Eastwood Seyfried. Bethel Gubramariam Shakur. Ian Andrew Shen. Ang Lamu Sherpa. Nanase Shirokawa. Alina Shubina. Aisha Siddiqui. Gabriel Matthias Silva Collins. Jose Maria Paul Silvestrini. Anthony Lamont Simpson. Julian David Parker Smedley. Jeremy Benjamin Smith. Nyan Chan Tet So. Noah David Sorrento. Valeria Natalie Sosa Garnica. Marcos Alberto Sota Esparza. John Wilson Spence IV. Benjamin Jesse Stanley. Samuel Baird Stark. Olivia Lytle Stokes. Shauna Sullivan. Alexander Charles Summers. Son Anna Tien. Mano Prashant Sundarasan. Margaret Grace Sutton. Carrie Ann Swartz. Angela Tang. Christine Emily Tana. Julio David Tavares. Caroline Lauren Taverna. Alden Mygat Taylor. Ryan Joseph Taylor. Jane E. Tekin in absentia. Chrislyn Joyce Temple. Emma Victoria Tenbarge. Joshua Farid Turanay. Jeremy Kurt Thaler. Austin Nolan Thomas. Isabel Rika Torres. Min Q Tron. Stockton Cuddy Troyer. Tyler Sebastian Say. 2 Janine. Will Mensch Turret. Natalie Martha Turner Wyatt. Caitlin Victoria Ubel. Richard Riley Vandenbroek. Rebecca Kate Van Pammel. Lena Gergaeva Velcheva. Julian James Vera. Atson Rolanda Villarreal Sosa. Nicole Bettini Cabral. Joseph Anthony Volpe. Lauren Elizabeth Vostal. Dragan Vujovic. Prem Wadwani. Kyle Elizabeth Walker. Andrew Elliott Wallace. Nicholas Andrew Wallach. Isabella Katie Wang. Alexander Jonathan Wortels. Reiner Thomas Wassinger. Perry Blythe Weber. Caroline Frances Weinberg. Miranda Ginn Wineland. Theodore Jarva Weiss. Harriet Morgan Weldon. Andrew Lash West. Gabriel Stone Wexler. Emily Patton White. Nathaniel Luke Whittle in absentia. Natalie Marie Francis Wilkinson. Jonathan Vaughn Williams. Nambi Hatian Williams. Benjamin W. Whipper. Allison Hun Wong. Michael Thomas Wong. Linda Deanna Warden. Meredith Lynn Wright. Yushin Wu. Kiana Yang. Emma Orleans York. Ross Yu. Christopher David Zaro. Tesneem Zakaria. Linda Zhang. Donglin Zhang. Lisa Yin Zhang. Eli M. Zlatowski. Adam Theodore Zoen. Joseph Stephen Wilson, Jr., class speaker. Ari Raphael Balburic, summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa speaker. Henry Yi-Hung Liu, summa cum laude, valedictorian. Kenny Chukwu Ann Odenibo, class marshal. Abel Martin Romero, class marshal. Benjamin Walter Gibbs, class marshal. And Alice Oba, class marshal. Will all members of the senior class please stand for the conferring of the degree?
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts entitled to all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations. May I ask our newest alumni to please be seated? I now call on Tom Gardner, President of the Society of Alumni, to welcome our new recipients of degrees.
Good morning to the great class of 2019. Come on. Or quite possibly good afternoon, I'm really not too sure. I am acutely aware that all that stands between you and the rest of your life is me, so I will be brief. First of all, let me offer all of you my heartfelt congratulations. I've met quite a few of you over the past several years at various roundtables, forums, trivia contests, and a certain bonfire a few months ago. You are quite an inspiring group. You've agitated for change at Williams, and you've made your mark. I can hardly wait to see what you'll achieve when you set off to change the world. My purpose today is to welcome you with great pride and open arms to the Society of Alumni of Williams College. Founded 198 years ago in 1821, we're the oldest such body in the entire universe. At least until the graduates of some intergalactic institution beam down to challenge that claim. Back in 1821, the brand new society had only one goal, and that was to save the college. As you may know, our third president, the infamous Zephaniah Moore, believed that no institution of higher learning could possibly thrive so far from the rest of humanity in the shadow of these Purple Mountains. And so he hightailed it out of here to found another college, one that shall go unnamed at these proceedings. And those early alums did indeed save Williams, and we're all here today, nestled in the Berkshires, thriving, due to their efforts and to those of the alumni that followed who continued to support the college in so many ways to this day. With the addition of the 548 of you who are graduating today, including 38 graduate students, we now number 30,185 members. I feel pretty confident in saying that wherever you're going when you leave today, from Boston to Brussels or San Francisco to Singapore, you'll find a fellow EIF nearby. And if you connect with them, they'll be delighted, I'm sure, to welcome you into their neck of the woods and offer friendship, wisdom, and the purple shirt off their backs. The EIF alumni community is the best network you'll ever discover. And if you need some help getting started with those connections, I offer you this, my personal email address, tguards79@gmail.com. There are many ways you can stay connected with Williams. You can join a regional alumni association. You can attend EIF events. You can return for homecoming. You can help with the alumni fund. And maybe 5 years from now, you'll help run your very first reunion. I've been asked why I volunteer my time and energy to Williams. Well, initially, I raised my hand because I felt I owed something to this place for what Williams did for me in my undergraduate years. But soon I realized that I was volunteering for a much simpler reason. It was fun. I like nothing better than serving Williams in some way, maybe with a group of EIFs I just met, who quickly become my newest best friends. We're fond of saying that while you're a student at Williams for 4 years, you'll be an alum for the rest of your life. And from the vantage point of one who walked across this stage exactly 40 years ago today, I humbly submit that the greatest reward of your Williams experience may very well lie ahead of you. And so, to the class of 2019, or should I say, my newest best friends, welcome to the Society of Alumni of Williams College.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you to the newest inductees in the Society of Fellows. I will have many more graduation here at Williams, but this will always be my first, and I will miss you. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. With these ceremonies now drawing to a close and in bidding you all farewell, I would remind the audience to remain standing until after the academic procession has moved out of the area, and ask the new graduates to remain in line until they've reached the Route 2 sidewalk. As is our custom, we will now sing 2 verses of the Mountains, after which the chaplain of the college will offer a benediction. You will find the words to the Mountains, accompanied by our own Williams Commencement Ensemble, in the program book.
Good afternoon. I'm going to close with a very brief benediction, so you can go forward and celebrate this glorious day. May God bless you with a restless discomfort about easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may seek truth boldly and love deep within your heart. May God bless you with a holy anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may tirelessly work for justice, freedom, and peace among all people. May God bless you with the gifts of tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, or the loss of all that they cherish, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and transform their pain into joy. May God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you can really make a difference in this world, so that you are able, with God's grace, to do what others claim cannot be. This is a Franciscan prayer. I did not write this. But blessings to your future and your journey. We're done.
Sheriff Bowler, pray, bring these ceremonies to a close.
Thank you.